The green flag is waving and we are underway here in Twin Ring Motegi. Jiro Yakuin from the pole goes down into corner number 1, but here comes Chris Britzer up the inside trying to make something happen, and Jiro Yakuin gets passed by both Kurikawa and Chris Britzer, who goes through from the 3rd spot on the grid to take the lead as they come out of turn 2 for the first time today. Let's take a look on board with Chris Britzer here to see how he pulled this move off. Shuts off the move from the 4th place driver, gets to the inside right here, and Kurikawa just sends it a little bit wide, doesn't have momentum out of 2, and Chris Britzer manages to come through in the lead of the race. Pole sitter Jiro Yakuin trying to make something happen here for the 2nd spot. He's caught back up to the rear end of Akane Kurikawa, or rather hasn't really dropped back since the start of the race, and is currently chasing the rear tail light of Akane as they go through the wide right-hander, and it's going to be a big run coming out of that corner. Jiro is going to get there. Will it result in anything though? He pulls to the inside, down the straightaway, and then crossover and almost touch, and down into the braking zone. Kurikawa tries to force him wide, and that's some dangerous driving right there, but Jiro Yakuin slips into the 2nd spot. And we are hearing now a 2-second time penalty is being assessed to the number 53 machine of Akane Kurikawa. Let's take another look at what happened here on board with Jiro Yakuin. Sends it down into the corner, makes up a lot of ground, and then gets a better run out of the corner. And he's going to pull to the inside right here. He's got a nose in front, and he lets off just a bit. And as he's trying to cross over, he gets a bit of a jump scare there. 2 times from Akane Kurikawa, once cutting across the track trying to block, and the 2nd time trying to push him off the racetrack. So this is what we missed on lap 6. We saw that there was some smoke in corner number 1. And this is the reason. Running in the 16th spot, the number 16, Wyman Malinovic, goes off of the racetrack, spins around in corner number 1, gets into the gravel trap, but manages to continue on with no contact. So that's really just a loss of positions for him. Let's go on board here, try to listen if anything happened. He just lets off into the corner, and as he starts to turn in, the rear end just comes out from underneath him. Fortunately, it didn't seem like there was much that he could do in that situation. Maybe just be on the inside of the curb a little bit more. That's about the only thing I can think of. Is when he was braking, the curb just caught him out, and he spun out. And this is the battle for the lead has started to heat up a bit here. Chris Britzer, with pressure being put on from the pole sitter Jiro Yakuin, who lost 2 spots at the start of this race, already got 1 back from Akane Kurikawa, and is now right on the rear end of the number 77 machine as they come out of 3 and down into corner number 4, looking on the outside, and now cuts to the inside as Jiro Yakuin in the 72A, and locks up the brakes, goes through, and he might have to give that spot back. He already does. He knows that that was a mistake, and that the stewards were likely not going to rule in his favor. And now he has to lock back in and try and pass the 77 car again, which I will say is not going to be easy unless the 77 misses the corner, and he does. And along the inside, a clean pass this time from Jiro Yakuin, and the pole sitter regains the lead for the first time since the 1st lap. Take one more look here on board with Jiro Yakuin as he's trying to attempt to pass down into corner number 4. And the rear end just starts to lock up, and he ends up sliding all the way through. Goes very wide, just waits for the 77 to pass him. There's almost contact there between the 2. And then right here, 72 staying in Chris's tire tracks as they're going up the hill. And then here in corner number 7, the 77 just goes wide, makes a mistake. And Jiro capitalizes and regains the lead. And we got a car off in corner number 4. That is Ryan Bone, it looks like, and it does not look like he's going to be able to get himself out of that one. Take another look here, battling just outside the top 10 between these two for the 12th spot on the racetrack. Ryan Bone locks up the rears just a bit there. I'm wondering if that may have had something to do with it. He pulls to the inside, trying to make the same move that Jiro Yakuin couldn't earlier and has the same issue, locks up the rear brakes and goes right over the front of Voya's car. We're going to have to see if the right front on her car has any damage there, and that is an unfortunate circumstance that she had no control over. Let's go on board with Ryan Bone. Right up to the rear end of the car. Tries to pull to the outside. These cars are almost making contact all the time here. They're on the edge, and then right there, just gets unsettled into the corner, and the rear end starts to lock up. And at that point, he's not going to make the corner, and contacts Voya Bogdanovic, and she has nothing she can do. On board with Voya through this. Watch her right side. Oh. It does seem like there's some damage on that right front. Whether that's race ending, we will have to see. The first yellow flag of the day comes out after a battle just outside the top 10 goes awry. We'll be back after this. And this is Kirikawa for the second spot on Chris Britzer. Moments ago, Britzer trying to pull the same move that Kirikawa did early in the race, blocking down the straight, no penalty assessed to Chris Britzer though, and Kirikawa makes it through to the second spot after that 2-second penalty from earlier was dismissed. Another look on board with the 53 car here. Pulls to the inside, gets blocked, tries to go to the outside, gets blocked, and throws it down the inside, down in the braking zone. Very brave on the brakes, but no lockups, and she manages to get through into the second spot. And here's a look at what brought out the caution, and it's Colin Crown again. Just no luck for this young driver. Very speedy in other series, and that is exactly the same spot almost as last year with the driver who he replaced, Kyle Reed. Went off in the same corner. He just went off later on. Let's go on board here down the straightaway into the braking zone. Just bites off a little bit more than he can chew on the exit and loses control and into the tire wall. Heavy contacts and out of the race. And the green flag will be back in the air this time by Jiro Yakuin. Leads us back to the green flag. Akane Kirikawa second, Chris Britzer third, rounds out your podium as they're coming down the front stretch down into corner number 1. Oh, and a lockup, and off of the racetrack goes the leader, Jiro Yakuin, the pole sitter. Second weekend in a row with the mistake in the late goings of the race. Or excuse me, last week it was in the early goings, and now late he spins out, but continued. What happened here as they were coming down the front stretch for the restart? Jiro's weaving down the front stretch, trying to get heat back into his tires, and just the rear start to lock up, and he just loses control, gets off of the racetrack, but manages to regain control of the car and only loses 2 spots. Unbelievably, that is a weird mistake. And obviously it is a rookie mistake here. It's the same thing we saw at Suzuka earlier in the year with Alia Kulikov. And that's just an unfortunate mishap there as the rear start to lock up. He gets wide, tries to put the power down, and the car spins out. But a very good job of keeping the car in gear and not losing too many places. And with just 3 laps left to go in this one, here is the battle for the final spot on the podium. We talked about Jiro wanting to get back after that mistake. He's not going to get the win and locks up again into corner number 1, but holds it underneath him. Kana Arima gives him loads of space, and Jiro gets through to take that position, but was it a safe pass? It's not going to matter. Kana Arima comes back on the outside with a run down into corner number 3 as Jiro slides wide again, wheel to wheel, almost off of the racetrack for the both of them, side by side, out of corner number 4, and Jiro Yakuin takes the spot back to the 3rd. He's not going to win the race, but a spot on the podium will be greatly appreciated from the AUS Racing team. Here's another look on board with Kana Arima from that exchange. Looking out the back, Jiro Yakuin in the number 72 machine cuts to the inside. You can see the right rear tire locks up on that car, and he manages to get through for the place, but just doesn't get a good exit. Kana gets the run on him, goes to the outside, Jiro tries to block it. Not enough room there. And then Jiro manages to get the run, but goes wide again. Just desperately driving in anger, trying to get the spot back. And then right here, Jiro gets the run out of the corner and clears into the third spot, albeit by the skin of his teeth. And one lap left, this time by the young driver driving for the team that won the championship, controversially albeit last year, is being chased down by the grizzled veteran at this point, even though he's still in his 20s. Hard to believe, honestly, considering how long he's been in this series, but Chris Britzer knows how to close out a race, but Akane Kirikawa wants to finish this one off. A winner last year in the Real Deal OTSP series, very impressive, and the Okutama Street Circuit. A very notoriously difficult racetrack. A few things went away in terms of pit strategy and everything, but she decided she wanted to come to sim racing, as Chris Britzer closes the gap just a bit. But she's been pretty impressive in the OTSP season this year so far as well. No wins on the season yet, but has been having top 5, top 10 pace week in, week out. Unfortunate crash in the first round took her out of the top 5 points contention early, but she's slowly regaining her footing and has not scored a victory yet in the 2025 BF4 season, but it's looking a lot like it might happen right now here at Twin Ring Motegi. Last year it was all Team Red Bull Junior with Shoka Makinahara, the one-time champion of 2023. Would be two-time champion if not for the points penalty that happened after the round at Car Jump Arena. But it gave the championship to Maki Kitagawa, an equally impressive young racer from Japan. And now, for the first time since last year, and the first time in her sim racing career, short sim racing career, Akane Kirikawa rounds the final bend and will beat out Chris Britzer for her first career victory, and it comes at Twin Ring Motegi. Fantastic job, and very lucky that the stewards did not go through with that 2-second time penalty.